Michaelnagar Shikha Niketan Higher Secondary Government Sponsored Co-ed English Medium School has taken an excellent initiative of teaching and make our students learn day-to-day lessons through audio and video in our YouTube channel. Teachers of all the subjects are working hard to enhance these online classes in the midst of this pandemic situation. It is a request to all the teachers, students and guardians to click the bell icon and subscribe our channel.
Hello everyone. In my last video, we have discussed about the pressure of liquids and air. And in my last video, I have finished up to air pressure. And today we will discuss about the new topic, that is buoyancy. And look at this experiment. I am immersing this is a lemon, and I am immersing this into into a glass full of water. So look at very carefully, the water starts overflowing. So some water starts overflowing from the glass. So why is this happening? This is happening because as I am trying to push this lemon into the water, it started to apply an upward force towards the lemon. This water, the liquid particles applying the pressure in upward pressure on this lemon. This pressure is known as buoyant force. So what is buoyant force? The upward force experienced by a body partly when the body is partly or wholly immersed in a fluid is called upthrust or buoyant force. So this phenomena responsible for this force is called buoyancy. This is the full this glass was full of liquid, and this is my lemon which I was pushing into it. That's why an upward force is generating, that is known as buoyant force. This upward force is known as buoyant force. So when I have pushed it, whole part of the lemon is pushed into the glass, some amount of liquid have overflown from the glass. So this liquid suppose I have collected this liquid. This liquid, the volume of the liquid, it can be shown that the volume of the liquid is equal to the volume of the lemon that is poured into the glass. So volume, this is actually volume of displaced liquid. We have collected the volume of displaced liquid. In this case, the liquid is water. Displaced liquid is equal to the volume of the object that is poured into it. It can be, it is true for any object. Here we have shown lemon, but for any object, suppose an iron sphere, I am immersing an iron sphere into it. Iron sphere means a large amount of volume. It has a large amount of volume, and it is the amount of liquid that is overflowing, that is also large. So as the volume of the object is large, the amount of the liquid displaced will also be large, will also be more. So this buoyancy or buoyant force, this force is known as buoyant force. This force depends on three factors. One factor is volume of the object. So what are the factors on which buoyancy depends? We have to understand this factor of buoyancy. Factor of buoyancy. Factors of buoyant force. The first factor is volume of the object. As I have discussed very soon, that the volume buoyant force is proportional to the volume of the object. If the volume of the object is large, the amount of the displaced liquid will be more. This is due to the buoyant force of the liquid will also be more. That's why buoyancy is proportional to, suppose buoyant force, I am writing this symbol FB. So FB is proportional to V. V means volume of the solid object that is poured into the liquid. The next point is density of the liquid. Density of the liquid. In which density of the liquid in which the object is poured into. So, suppose there is a, we all know that the mercury is heavier than water. So, this is water, that is why this I have done the experiment with water and lemon. If I would done the experiment with lemon and mercury, then we can see that the mercury, in mercury the lemon will float, because mercury have heavier density than water. Density of mercury is 13.6 gram per cc, and then the density of water H2O, that is 1 gram per cc. As the density is more, so upward force will be more. Density of the liquid is more, upward force that is generating, that will be also more. So, because we know upthrust, you have to mind it that upthrust, in my earlier class I have discussed that upthrust is nothing but mg. Upthrust is basically W is equal to mg. So, upthrust is like this, mg, and m means mass of the object. So, that is v into rho into g. So, W is equal to V rho g. This is the mathematical expression of upthrust. So, upthrust depends on the rho of liquid, density of liquid. As the density of liquid is more, upthrust is also more. For this case, in mercury, suppose an iron nail that will float into mercury, but it will sink into water. So, this is the case in which you can understand that the density of liquid matters in the case of buoyancy. And so I can write like this, Fb also varies as density of liquid. So, Fb varies as rho into L, rho L, that denotes the density of liquid in which the body is dipped into. And number 3 factor, that is the place. Gravitational acceleration also depends. So, that is gravitational acceleration. Short form of acceleration is ACCN, that is why I am writing gravitational acceleration, because as upthrust is equal to V into rho into L into G. So, G upthrust depends, upthrust means buoyant force that depends on the acceleration due to gravity, that is G. So, Fb is again proportional to G. So, Fb is nothing but if I sum up these 3 quantity, then we get that Fb is V into rho L into G, that is just exactly equal to the upthrust, that is exactly equal to the upthrust. So, upthrust, or this you can say that is upward force, as some force is generating, some pressure is also generating. So, this is the upward pressure also we can say. Okay. So, you have to clear the conception about upthrust properly. So, suppose this beaker was full of liquid and I have immersed a body into it whose cross sectional area is A and the height of the body is H. So, as I have dipped into the body over a beaker, dip the body into a beaker, amount of liquid is displaced. Some amount of liquid is displaced. So, when it is in the beaker, what is happening inside the beaker? Inside the beaker there are water molecules. So, water molecules are applying an amount of pressure that is known as upward pressure. This is P2. P2 is basically the upward pressure given by the liquid. The upward pressure given by the liquid. And here in this case I must say that not only liquid, in gases also this buoyancy force is true in gases also. Okay, so this is the better term is for fluid, the upward pressure given by the fluid, but here I have taken liquid, that is why I have written liquid only. So, this is P2 and P1. P1 means what? P1 means the pressure given by the above water molecules the molecules that is above the water, above the object, the molecules that is below the object, that is giving upward pressure, and the molecules that is above the object, that is giving the inward pressure. The inward pressure, because the body is floating, this is the body is floating inside the beaker. The inward pressure given by the liquid present over the object, that is inward pressure. Now we have to find out the difference between these two pressure. So we have to find out basically P2 minus P1. Look at very carefully. H1 is the distance from the free surface of the water to the object, that is H1, and H2 is the distance from the free surface of water to the bottom of the object. So the pressure P2 is equal to what? The mathematical expression for pressure is H into rho into G. So P2 is basically H2 into rho means rho of L, rho L into G minus A, that is H2. H2 rho L G, and P1 is H1 rho L G. So we are finding out the difference. So H2 minus H1 into rho L G is the difference. If I take, we know that the height of the object was H, so H2 minus H1 denotes the height of the object. So H into rho L into G is the height of the object. So P, the pressure, difference in pressure, that is H into rho L into G. Okay. G. As pressure is generating from where? Pressure generates when and a force is applied in some area, over an area when some force is applied. So as pressure is generating, there is some force is applied between these A, the area, cross sectional area of the object. So we can write the force or upthrust. Force is equal to, we know force is equal to pressure into area. P into A denotes force. So P into A, that means H into rho L into G into A. So I am writing A in this portion because A into H, area into height, denotes always volume of the object. Any object, an object of volume of any object always will be what? Area, cross sectional area into height. So area into height denotes volume of the object. So we can write force is basically V into rho L into G. Force is basically V into rho L into G. So I am writing this again. Force, last day we have discussed that upthrust is nothing but a force that is applied over an area. So force can be written as upthrust. So upthrust is basically V into rho L into G. Upthrust is basically, mathematical expression for upthrust is V into rho L into G. That is very important for doing numericals. And V into rho. Now come to this portion. What is V into rho? V into rho means mass of the object. Mass of the object. I am rubbing this, writing, and V into rho, because we know there is a relation between mass and volume. M by M of liquid, M by V is equal to rho of liquid. So mass is equal to this into V. This into V is equal to mass. So we can replace this V rho L by M. Then W or upthrust will be mass M into G. This is the another term for upthrust. Okay. So upthrust is V into rho L into G. Again upthrust is M into G. Okay. So let's conclude that upthrust is, what is upthrust? So upthrust is the weight of the displaced liquid by the immersed part of the body. So when you are immersing or you are dipping any type of object into the liquid will be overflown. So amount of the mass of the liquid, mass, not mass, this is mg, so this it will be weight. The weight of the displaced liquid denotes the value of upthrust, because upthrust is mg, so this is the weight of the displaced liquid. Okay. So now let's study about Archimedes' law. If a body is partially or wholly immersed in a fluid, an upward force acts on the body that depends on the volume of the object, volume of the body that's dipped into the liquid, and also depends the shape of the body, and it depends for the density of the liquid. So this principle, this total phenomena was discovered by Archimedes, and from this we know that is Archimedes' principle. So what's Archimedes' principle? When a body is partly or fully immersed in a fluid at rest, it appears to lose a part of its weight, and the loss of weight is equal to the fluid displaced by the body. So when a body is partly or fully immersed, suppose the volume of the object is 40 cc. When you are dipping only, that is the total volume of the object, you are dipping only 2/5 part of it into water. So 2/5 part means how much volume that is going to immerse. So you can calculate to 40 by 2 by 5, that is 16 cc of the 16 cc volume of the object is immersed into the fluid, into the water. So 16 cc water will be displaced from the beaker, because you are only dipping only a part, that is that what mean when a body is partly immersed, that means whole body 40 cc of the volume, 40 cc of the liquid will not be displaced, it will only displaced 16 cc of volume. 16 cc of liquid will only be displaced due to the partly immersion of the object. So this 16 cc volume is reduced. So actual volume of the object 40 cc, 16 cc volume is displaced. So now what is the volume of the object? That is 24 cc is now the present volume of the object. So its mass will also be going to reduce. So that's why the body will experience light weight. That's why this is written, it appears to lose a part of its weight, because its volume is reducing, so its mass will be also reduced. That's why when we swim in water, we feel that we are light. We can't feel our actual weight in water. Okay. So what is apparent weight? What is the meaning of the term apparent weight? For experiencing this, we will discuss this. Suppose the weight of the object in air, the true W, that means weight of the object in air, that is 150 mg. 150 mg, and the weight of the object when it is dipped into water, that is 100. The weight W of the object when dipped into water, that is 100 g, only g, not mg, because mass into g, that denotes weight. So 100 g. So you can see here that there is a loss in weight, because the body is experiencing a loss in weight when it is into the water. So this is due to the liquid which is displaced, because some amount of liquid is displaced, and if I collect if I can weight these also, we will see that the mass of this water, that is 50 g, because see very carefully the loss in weight here. The loss in weight that is 150 minus 100 g. So, this is 50 g. This loss in weight is equal to the fluid, is equal to the mass of the fluid that is displaced by the body due to immersing into water. This is actually Archimedes principle, and this is a spring balance that I have taken for, and the true weight of the object is also observed by the with the help of spring balance. So, this is the experiment that can be done to prove Archimedes principle. Now, let us come to the point, that is flotation. I think all of you have the experience of floating something, suppose paper boat. All of you have some experience of floating paper boat into rainy days. So, this is just, we have to know the science behind the flotation. So, suppose this is a lemon, I am dipping it into the into this glass that is full of water. So, look at very carefully what is happening. The lemon is floating on the surface of water. Okay. So, this is the case of flotation, because the lemon is floating in the surface of water. I am trying to push it, but it is not going inside, it is coming over the surface of water. And this is the next case, that is brick, a part of brick we have taken and we are dipping it into the water, and look at this is already sinked into the glass of water. So, what is the difference between these two bodies? Because this body is floating over the water and this body is absolutely sink into the water. What happens when the body, we try to immerse a body into the water? There is basically two forces acting. One force that is due to the weight of the body, that is acting downward over the liquid and giving downward force, this is due to its weight, and another force that is known as buoyant force. Buoyant force is giving the upward pressure towards the body. So, these two forces try to balance each other, and when the balance is done properly, that is the case of stable flotation. Here we can see that the body is floating inside the water. These are water, and the body is floating inside the water. So, this is the case when Fb equals to W. Fb means the buoyant force, that is Fb, and W means the weight, the vertical force, the vertical downward force generated by the body due to its weight. So, when these two forces are balanced with each other, that is the case of stable flotation. So, basically 3 cases can happen. This is the first case. Come to the second case, when this is the case of lemon actually, when the lemon was floating over the surface of water. So, this is basically the upward force, that means the force generated by the liquid, by the glass of liquid is more, because that is why it is coming over the surface of water. So, here Fb, that is buoyant force, is more than the weight of the object, here the weight of the lemon. So, this is bigger, this force is large, that is why this is coming to the surface. And this is the case where the body is sinked into the body is sinking into the water. This is the case of the brick, part of brick as we have shown. So, here the weight of the brick is so high that it is just sinking into the water. Here we can write that Fb, that upward force given by the liquid is less, given by the water is less. So, Fb is less than the weight of the body. So, as we are discussing this buoyant force and weight, so Fb, we know the value of Fb, that is V into rho L into G. We have found it out that Fb, mathematical expression of upthrust or buoyant force, that is V into rho L into G. And W means basically weight of the object, so V into rho S, weight means mg. Mind it that weight means mg and m means mass is equal to volume into density. So, we can write V into rho S into G. So, cancelling V and G, the only thing that is remaining, that is rho L and rho S, and the relationship is rho L is less than rho S. So, the density of the brick is more than the density of the water. That's why the object is sinking into the water. So we can conclude that when the density of the object is more than the density of the liquid in which it is immersed into, then the object will sink into the liquid. And here similarly in this case rho L is more than rho S. So this is the case of lemon, where the density of the lemon is less than the density of the water. That's why this is coming over the surface of water. And here the density, both of the densities are equal, because this is equal. So rho L is equal to rho S. This is the case of stable flotation, where the weight, the density of the object is absolutely equal to the density of the solid. Okay. So this is the flotation. So we all have the idea of density of an object. Density is basically mass by volume. When the mass of unit volume of an object denotes density. So the density is basically mass divided by volume, and its unit is SI unit, that is kg. Unit of mass is kg and volume is meter cube. So unit is kg per meter cube, and CGS unit is centimeter. CGS unit is gram per cc. This is all about density. We all know what is density. So the one term that is related to density, that is relative density. So what is relative density? Relative density means basically we are comparing the density of an object with the density of the equal volume of water. So here that is only a comparison of the between two objects, between an object and the density of water. The density of an object with the density of water. So RD, that means relative density, is a substance. Relative density is a substance, is the ratio of its density to that of water at 4 degrees Celsius. But I think this is not the proper. Relative density is a quantity. Quantity which is the ratio of its density, relative density of a substance. No, it was all right. I think relative density of a substance. That means for any substance, yes, it was my mistake. So relative density of a substance. That means for any substance, the relative density is basically the ratio of the density of the object with the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. And what is the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius? That is 1 gram per cc at 4 degrees Celsius density of water. So if I say, suppose I am saying that RD of mercury is 13.6. What does it mean? RD of mercury is 13.6. That is, I am comparing density of mercury is 13.6 gram per cc, and I am comparing with the same volume, 1 cc of volume of water, that is, that's density is 1 gram per cc at 4 degrees Celsius. So these units are cancelling out. We have only the number, that is 13.6. So RD of the mercury is 13.6. So RD is basically a number. As you can see that the units are cancelling out. Only this is a number. It has no unit. It is a dimensionless quantity of a substance. And there is another definition of RD, that is RD is equal to weight of the substance by weight of an equal volume of water at 4 degrees Celsius. When suppose the weight of the substance is W1, and when this object is poured into water, it will some amount of liquid, some amount of water will be displaced, so there will be some weight loss. So this is W1 minus W2 is the weight of an equal volume of water. So this is actually RD, that is weight of the any substance by weight of an equal volume of water at 4 cc. Why I am writing this? W2 is the amount of liquid displaced by the object when poured into water. Okay, so it will experience an weight loss, that is apparent weight. So W1, the actual weight by apparent weight, is equal to RD. Okay, so today only up to this. In our next class, or in so many class, after all the classes have done, we'll discuss all the numericals, because from Archimedes principle you have to solve some numericals, and from pressure part also. So you have to, we'll do in our next videos. Okay.
Thanks for watching. Leave a like and comment. Subscribe. And do share the video among your friends.